What's the deal? What's the deal? What's the deal? Shout out to the Viral Gang. Shout out to all the subscribers. If you ain't subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Hit that notification bell, man. Share, like, subscribe to the channel. Y'all know what to do, man. Run us up. Kali the One is in the building, man.
Yes,
What's
sir.
the deal?
Man, I'm feeling good, man. I'm happy to be here. I'm ready to get into the shit. How you doing?
Man, I'm doing good, man. Fresh off this workout. I cut it a little short so we can get to the studio. I'm going to get right back to it after this little segment. But
Let's get it cracking.
man, Kendrick Lamar, he just came from under the rock he been chilling under.
For the last, 4 months?
For the
Something
last
like that, yeah.
4 or 5 months, we haven't heard from him since he really dropped Not Like Us. He hasn't done an interview. Everybody's been sitting back waiting to see what media outlet he's going to do an interview with. And I find this one kind of odd a little bit. He did it with Harper Bazaar.
I believe so.
I think it's Harper's Bazaar. I want to say this is like some type of fashion magazine, and they've only ever put 5 males on the cover. So I think that makes the 6th with him. And this interview was actually kind of interesting because he actually had SZA interview him.
Yeah.
So they went through Harper's Bazaar, and he had his label mate interview him. Now, me personally, I got my take on that because I feel like as a leader of hip hop, he should have came to a hip hop outlet. I seen Punch release a tweet saying, it ain't no hip hop outlets for him to come to. Like all the hip hop outlets is trash and blah, blah, blah. And that's just not true. Maybe all the main media outlets that they feel, but I feel like this is a time in hip hop where you go to the culture, you go to one of these grassroots, smaller platforms who really doing it for the culture. You feel me? Like us, or you feel me?
Right.
Anyone like us? It's a number of other outlets, us included, though, that he could have came to and really shine that light on and help create a smaller platform and turn that into a bigger platform. Because there's a lot of platforms that's not garbage, ours included. It's a lot of platforms that don't do it for just the clicks and the engagement and the clout chase and the circus and all of that drama bullshit. There's a lot of people who really care about the culture and really speak for the culture. And as a leader of hip hop, with rap looking like it's a sinking ship, me personally, I feel like he should have came to a hip hop platform first. Still go over there because I'm pretty sure they paid a hefty bag.
Oh, yeah.
It's a different look. It's hitting a different type of audience. So I get everything about doing it. I just don't understand doing that first. How you feel about it, bro?
I think that he could have went to a multitude of hip hop platforms, just like you said. He could have went to Joe Budden. He could have did that one-on-one. He could have did Charlemagne one-on-one. We've seen Charlemagne have pretty in-depth interviews with Kanye, Big Sean one-on-one. He could have went to Ebro, Apple Music, Zane Lowe. We've seen them give in-depth interviews. He could have went to it's a lot of people he could have went to. He could have went to us, Fig Munity, DJ Head, and Elliott Wilson, which that's an LA platform, and they was really, really, really riding for him. So most of these people that I'm mentioning, they really rode for him throughout the beef. And if you really look at it, they severed ties damn near with Drake completely over this beef. Most of these media outlets that I mentioned, Joe Budden, they calling him a Drake or a Kendrick Dick Rider, DJ Head, Elliott Wilson. That's the synopsis out here about these people. So with that being said, I feel like you would expect or you would think he would be coming to one of these platforms, but he didn't. I don't really get the hype around reaching a different demographic at this point. Like, you're about to do the Super Bowl. You already had your Good Kid, Mad City in the top 10 Apple Music. I mean, you got multiple Grammys and Pulitzer Prizes. You've reached demographics that you could reach. To me, after making a song like Not Like Us, that something is, our culture took and anointed as a song to represent our culture, I would think you would turn back around and then do that exact thing by giving us the look and giving us, that interview. But he didn't.
No, that's facts. That's actually facts because the culture came out and rolled with Kendrick on this one. Specifically, most of the creators on the West. And like you said, it's a line drawn in the sand now where Drake's probably never going to fuck with nobody from the West.
Facts. That's how I was looking.
Game. Other than Game, I don't see Drake shining his light on nobody from the West because it felt like the West versus Drake. Especially after the pop-out concert, everybody drew the line in the sand, and it was like, we riding with Kendrick. So that's why when we did all of our takes, I'm like, man, you got to kind of throw an alley-oop back to the culture.
Yeah.
I understand the pop-out and all that's cool and all that, but, I mean, shit, as the leader, as the king who gonna have the crown, you know, Snoop and Dre and all them pass you the crown. Hey, he who wears the crown, you know what I'm saying? That shit is heavy.
Yeah.
That shit is heavy. That come with a heavy cost. So you gotta really be shining your light on the people that's following you. It's just like somebody going out to war back in the medieval days. Guess what? If you was the head of that shit, you had to be out there on the battlefield.
Yeah. And I think too, like you look at Punch's tweet about, you know, there's not a lot of credible hip hop platforms that dudes want to go to at this point. I feel like that was a little bit of a cop out, and you know the timing of it to me was a little bit interesting. I feel like that's just in response to the response that interview Kendrick Lamar, you know, had. Because at the end of the day, like we said, everybody else is expecting the same thing we expecting to see, this monumental interview of getting the insiders on maybe the beef or just your headspace or whatever the case is. And I felt like one of the reasons why he didn't do it is because he knew that, you know, granted, hip hop media they're going to focus on the messy shit. And so I understand Kendrick Lamar being the person he is. He probably wanted to avoid that to a certain degree, but you kind of also got to go head on and attack that head on, because SZA's not going to ask you the questions that we really want to hear. We wanted to hear if you had the song pre-recorded. We wanted to hear how you got the information, if the daughter was real, if, you know, all these different things. How did you feel? We didn't want to just hear, oh, I believe in love and war and peace and God and aliens. Like, that's what it was, and then they got up out of there. We wanted to hear the real nitty-gritty, and I feel like hip-hop platforms would have challenged those questions or brought those questions out of him in some shape or fashion if he would have went on those platforms.
No, facts, because the SZA interview felt like these were questions she just personally wanted to know. Like, this felt like something they could have did on a phone call behind the scenes. Like, Kendrick, how you feel about this? When the last time you cried? When they're like, bro, we don't want to hear about the last time Kendrick cried. We want to know, man, what was going on with this thing with Drake? What really ignited it? You know, you said he had a daughter. Come to find out, allegedly he don't. Like, what's going on with that? Like you just pointed out. So it's a lot of questions still unanswered that we need answers to as far as the hip hop culture. And only someone who really studies the culture, really from damn near from the outside looking in, is always going to have the more intriguing questions than someone that's in it, because SZA, she's a part of their whole camp. So a lot of the questions that the culture doesn't know, a lot of the answers that the culture are looking for, she might know from being behind the scenes.
Facts.
Like, I seen Daylight jump out there recently and say, you know, half the people that was at the Pop Out concert used to talk shit about Kendrick, saying we don't want to hear this rap shit and blah, blah, blah. This shit ain't gonna work. Back when they was doing the dance rap and all of that. So he jumped out there like, yeah, I'm glad, you know, Kendrick getting the shine or whatever, because the rap shit outlasted blah, blah, blah. So even questions like that, like, bro, how you feel about, you know, some of these people who popped up at the Pop Out who wasn't fucking with you, but now that they see you get this victory over Drake, they jump out there, now they fucking with you. How you feel about that? It's just a lot of unanswered questions that hip-hop fans want to know, Kendrick fans want to know, even Drake supporters want to know.
Facts.
How you feel about academics, and how you feel about these East Coast bloggers and blase blah. We heard you say it in the song, but we want to hear you articulate that in the interview and really break it down.
No, facts. I think that's what we all wanted to hear. And who's to say it doesn't come? You know what I mean? Eventually. But for that first one out, we expected it for it to be that. And then, like you said about the Not Like Us, like when she asked him the question, or what does it represent? He said it represents me. It represents, you know what I mean, not pandering, have a man of morals and respect. And while I agree with that, because I do think that there is a section of a song, or you could say 50% of the song is him, you know, expressing that he has morals and respect and he's about his principles, because that's what he's calling out Drake for not having. But then on the other end, it's like you had a whole last verse talking about Atlanta and then comparing Atlanta to Drake's infiltration of Atlanta. And then at that point, you called him a pedo, called him a freaky ass nigga, a 6ix9ine god for half of the song. OV ho, all these different things. So then when you get asked, what is this song about or what does it represent? I feel like it's a little bit of cap that say it's just about that without saying, no, this was a diss. Like,
stop playing, bro. It's a diss song.
This is a diss song,
It got
bro.
you to the Super Bowl. How you feel about the diss song getting you to the Super Bowl?
Yeah.
This is the first time in history this has happened. We need to know how you feel about this, bro. It's a lot of questions. And like you said, this is why the culture never really shifts and reaches that next level as far as rap goes, because once we reach certain levels, we damn near abandon it. Like we just talked about it looking like rap is a sinking ship.
Exactly.
Fucking Gucci just dropped all of his artists
That's
except
true, yeah.
for the dude that's like Pooh Shiesty. And I think one other guy who was buzzing. And then you had the Tommy nigga say his shit ain't rap, and then he tried to put it in for the Grammy Award. It's like everybody is kind of like walking away from hip hop damn near. When you had the biggest moment, the biggest record in hip hop, this was the time to shine the light back on hip hop. If you don't fuck with these other outlets, find one that you fuck with, because it's plenty.
I just think it was on some shit like when they was trading shots, they was trading shots. But I do think the beef got really big, and maybe that's the reason why he didn't want to go on there, because he maybe is looking at it like, I'm damned if I do, I'm damned if I don't. If I come on here and say something, people was gonna take that, and that might, you know what I mean, take things to the next level. I have no idea. That could have been maybe how he thought about it. You feel me? And that's why he did avoid it. But overall, I think we needed that. We needed that exchange. I mean, I don't understand why we didn't get it. Like, it's crazy to me. I don't know.
And do you think Drake might could earn some points with the culture if he come do an interview with the culture? If I'm Drake, I'm looking for a chess move right now. I'm looking for a local West Coast platform, preferably a smaller one.
Yeah.
And I'm doing the interview over there.
I think Drake right now, only thing that could help him is time. Like, he gotta it's just gonna be time, and as time passes and more time passes, he'll be able to like somewhat get his feet back. But as of right now, he's out. He's out.
No, he's definitely out. It's just, man, I just miss the days where the culture only interacted with the culture. Like, this was an exclusive club. This was hip hop. You had to come to hip hop to get hip hop. We don't have no more XXLs. We don't have no more sources. We don't have no more Rap City the Basements. We got podcasts now. So we low key got to cipher through these podcasts to keep the culture alive, because we don't have any other mainstream outlets. Everybody is watching podcast clips via YouTube Shorts, Twitter, Instagram. I mean, you name it, Facebook. This is how we're getting news on the culture these days. So if the culture is not coming to the culture, it looks like it's a disconnect. You have bloggers blogging on the artists, but then there's a disconnect because there's no artists coming through
showing up
to the bloggers. The only ones they're coming through is to the ones that everybody is deeming vultures. Like, I just seen Tony Ayo go back to Vlad after he just said, matter of fact, we can get on that later.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But as far as Kendrick, how do you feel about him saying things like God's talking to him, and you know, he feels like he's going crazy sometimes, and he's having these out-of-body experiences where he can view himself outside of his body, I guess, detached from the fame and the character who's the rap artist, and really view it from, you know, outside looking in. Like,
I'm glad you brought
that
that up. I'm glad you brought that up, because I thought that was cap too. Like, to me, it was like some J. Cole shit, where it was like, you niggas went out there, you traded shots, you did what you did, and now you want to come in here and say you could just disconnect from it all. You can't. You put the P word on bro's jacket. He put the domestic violence shit on your jacket. Like, you niggas can't just walk away from that. You niggas left the trail of shit. Niggas ain't friends no more. Industry up in arms. Niggas ain't even dropping music. Niggas is dropping music now on Instagram and Twitter. Like, so many things I feel like have been a trickle down effect of this beef, that you can't just say, oh, I'm just disconnected from it after I shot the shots, and it just is what it is. I feel like it's going to follow you around for the rest of your career. Me personally.
See, I really didn't like the Punch tweet. I would have preferred, as a supporter of the culture, as a supporter of that camp, for him to say, you know, the main, you know, first of all, name the platforms y'all don't fuck with.
Yeah.
Because you made a blanket statement, and that's really shitting on everybody's platform. And everybody's platform doesn't fall under that category. So be specific with who you're talking about. And I'd rather they had just said, you know what? This is a different type of look we're looking for, falling into the Super Bowl. It kind of lines up with that demographic, that audience, and we got a crazy bag for it if they did get a bag for it. We just wanted something that we felt was bigger than hip-hop, which I don't know how they would feel that way, because hip-hop's the reason why they're even contacting you. So it can't be bigger than hip-hop, because that's the only reason they're really contacting you, because you got the buzz from hip-hop, from the diss record. So, man, the culture got to get back in tune with the culture, man. Nobody's exempt. I don't give a fuck how big your records is, how big you running rap, bro. At the end of the day, get back connected with the culture.
He was supposed to pop out and be at one of them hip hop platforms. It's really no excuse for it, to me, in my opinion. It's like, like I said, all them people severed ties with that other dude. You know what I mean? And maybe some of them had intentions of getting that interview, and maybe he peeped that, and that's why he's like, that's kind of fake. But I feel like there was some motherfuckers that was genuine, like, because this is the West, we rocking with it. And so I think that he should have came over here and gave some interviews to some people.
No, that's facts, because that can put people on. Not only are you shining your light on the West yet again, because you said, you know, all the East Coast people, all the East Coast content creators was dick riding. Okay, come show love to the West Coast ones.
Yeah.
Who was riding for you, who jumped out there, who really probably severed their chances of ever even getting a Drake interview if Drake was even thinking about interviewing with some of these niggas.
Thanks.
So a lot of niggas unintentionally ruined relationships they possibly could have had and really didn't gain anything from it. You know what I'm saying?
At the end of the day.
They really didn't gain nothing from it.
Yeah.
So, man, these rappers, man, y'all gotta tap back in with the culture, man. I know y'all might be feeling like y'all too big, you know, because I'm at the Super Bowl, but to me, that shows more humility than anything. That's more points in my book. Even if you didn't come here, if you went anywhere,
Yeah.
I would have been like, damn, bro is still tapped in. Like, that's some real nigga shit. He's finna perform at the Super Bowl, and he just was on such and such shit.
Yeah.
Bro, that would have went crazy.
And I seen a theory out there floating around on Twitter is that's the reason as to why he went there, is because he's trying to clean up the image of Not Like Us before performing it on a, you know what I mean, mainstream stage, which could be true. But again, that's not what it was meant for. So it's like, it wasn't meant to get cleaned up and then be this, you know, prestige thing on stage. It was meant to be real, raw, and uncut. What it was, those emotions we felt when we all heard the song, like, that's what it was meant to be. It wasn't meant to be some like industry spectacle. I feel like that what it turned
So he's
into.
watering it down for the Super Bowl.
I feel like a little bit. Maybe it's possible, because they're not gonna let him say, you know what I mean. I don't think they're gonna let him say some of the shit on there. Yeah, he might let the crowd rock with it, but he's not gonna do it. So I feel like it could be some playing down of what the song means and you know how it's supposed to come across due to him about to go on stage.
It sounds like he's at a fork in the road where he's ready to damn near walk away. Maybe not permanently, but go try and venture out some other things. Maybe that role in Power got him with the acting itch. You know, he done seen people like DMX, Busta Rhymes, really 50 Cent, really excel in the acting thing. Method Man, Redman, you know what I'm saying? Different hip hop acts in the past, and maybe he wants to go do that. Maybe he want to get in the fashion lane. You know, he always got these crazy ass outfits, so maybe that's another lane he wants to get in. Which he said, music is the vessel. This isn't his final stop, so he's already setting up the play for the next move, which I'm pretty sure is already lined up. They just haven't announced it. But if that's the case, like I said, shit, shine your light on somebody before you make your exit out to the next lane, you know what I'm saying? So we could usher in the new talent and keep this ball going while you're gone. Because if you just up and leave, it's finna be a big ass void. And there's no one out here that I'm seeing that's finna fill that type of void.
It's already like when he took. That's what I'm saying too. When he took out Drake, that was the only nigga who had you know. And I'm not gonna say he has quality music over Kendrick, but he had a good mix of quality and quantity. Where like you're gonna get an album maybe every year. And something on there you're going to be able to listen to and be cool with. Whereas, like, now that he's gone, we don't really have that. And then Kendrick now being anointed, you know, as that number one guy, he just don't pop out like that. So it's going to make shit tricky, you know what I mean? And then everybody else is beefing.
J. Cole X'd himself out, so anything he dropped is getting scrutinized. We're like, you know what? You backed out that beef. Shut the fuck up, bro. So it don't even matter as lyrical as he's being. I don't know, man. Rap, it's getting spooky out here. It was a build and destroy move with the Drake thing, but it might have done more harm than good.
It's possible.
Maybe.
We'll have to see.
Because if he don't make no more music, Drake's image is fucked.
Yeah.
J. Cole fucked himself in the process. Those the biggest three we had in the game.
After that, we got we got Future, Thug's gone. Like, so even that second tier artist is already kind of like dismantled as well, where it's like it's looking ugly. Yeah, if they don't drop more music, it's looking ugly. Kanye getting old and getting Kanye.
Ooh, okay.
Niggas don't want to talk about that, but he's getting old, and I feel like his time is sort of coming within his musical creations, like where it's just becoming more based off of everything else but the music to me.
Look, we'll see. We'll see if he ran through any hip hop platforms maybe it hasn't aired yet, or maybe he's lining it up for after the Super Bowl when he has the most coverage. Then bam, maybe he start hitting these platforms. We shall see. But as of right now,
got to do better.
We got to do better. I'm sorry, hip hop. We got to do better. Hip hop got to stick by hip hop. That's the only way to keep this thing afloat. The viral way.
Facts.